Welcome to the No Horsing Around podcast. Colts versus Lions. Who's in? Who's out? This is a big game, guys. For the players who they're playing for their lives, man. I mean that's what it is. It looks like Frank Reich's not going to play many of his starters, if any. I want to know. I kind of want to know in the comments. Do you guys agree with Frank Reich, or do you disagree with Frank Reich not playing any of his starters and not give him a chance to kind of get out there and get that first hit? That's always been kind of a hot topic, so I'm interested. Drop that in the comments, and we'll just dive right in, man. Brought to you by the Lounge Room Network, One Call Technology. We're super grateful for those sponsors. As you see up in the top over here, subscribe, rate, review, like, all of that good stuff. And let's just hop right in. Colts versus Lions. What I'm looking for is, first and foremost, who's going to go out there and earn that final spot. You've got guys all over. You've got a couple guys that are injured too. I think, Andre Sashiri is really, I feel like, kind of played himself onto this team. We're going to do a final 53 mock. I think we're going to do that Sunday. So after we see this final game, one last look. He's a guy that I've got kind of etched in right now as that third or fourth safety on this football team. I think he can help himself out. I'd like to see another strong outing from Ben Banigou, but I believe Banigou's probably solidified his spot. Big game for Rochelle. You got Akadu Muhammad and Rochelle kind of fighting, in my opinion, for that last spot. I would give the edge as we speak to Akadu Muhammad. Super reliable. I feel like he's just always so consistent. He doesn't do the flashy things, but he's a very, very consistent football player. The wide receiver battle is wide open. There's a lot of people team Patman, a lot of people team Strong. Several people out there want to go with Strong and Patman and let Doolin go. I do not think that will happen. I think Ashton Doolin, because of his special team presence, he's just about as good as it gets on special teams. And Chris Ballard, we all know, right? We all know that Chris Ballard values special teams just so much. It's so important to him to have a solid team at all the phases of football. Defense, offense, special teams. He wants everything. Shout out to Hot Rod for winning the kicking job. Panero, I thought it was kind of cool that the Colts did that. Let him go through waivers, see if he can maybe land on his feet somewhere else. If not, maybe you bring him back to the practice squad. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are as far as that goes. Another guy, Chris Williams, I think has played really, really well on the defensive line. He played extremely well against the Vikings. He's kind of trying to play himself into that final spot. I'm not sure that he's going to have enough. Your linebacker battle, it seems pretty solid. You've got 6 guys. Of course, Darius and Okereke. I think they like what EJ Speed can do, Zaire Franklin, Matt Adams, and Jordan Glasgow, just because of, we mentioned earlier, the special teams. I think those 2 guys are going to be hard to kind of push out of the way. I really do. I just don't know how it's going to happen. Right now, I've got etched 9 guys going to probably make the offensive line. They could go with 10, but I think they go with 9 guys. I think that you're going to want some interior guys. You're going to want some outside guys. It looks like Davenport's going to be your starting left tackle. He's going to be your utility tackle for the rest of the season. He's kind of played himself into a nice role, and I don't think 7th Heavy is going to make this football team. We'll talk about more of that in the actual final 53 podcast that comes out here in just a few days as I'm recording this, Thursday evening. But I'm looking for guys, somebody to show up and show out. I'm looking for guys to go out there. I want to see Desmond Patman go out there and compete for that final spot. I want to see Desmond Patman not just lay down and I want to see him go out there and kind of progress. What is he going to do? I want to see Eason go out there and win the number 2 job. It looks like he's going to, but go out there and grab it. He's just kind of underwhelmed all off season. And Sam Ehlinger really shouldn't have an opportunity to beat him out with all of the physical tools that Eason has. So he needs to go out there and just wrap it up. Kind of rest the minds of the Colts nation and the Colts fan base as far as a backup goes. Interested to see that. I think our running backs are pretty solid. I think our top 4, we're probably going to stick with them. I know Farrod Green has had a pretty good camp as far as the tight end. If the Colts decide to go with the fourth tight end, he's looked good, man. I really believe that. I think he's looked solid for us. A guy who's had a little bit of an injury here pop up on him, but I think that he might be able to sneak in on this football team. He's looked good all training camp, and even in games, he's caught the footballs thrown his way. So that'll be interesting to see. I think wide receiver is going to be a hot topic. We're obviously looking at offensive line. Do we keep 9? Do we keep 10? Right now, I think we probably keep Chris Reed, Pentner, Julian Davenport, and then the rest are going to fight out for that last spot. You got Tevy, you got Will Holden. I don't know, Will Freeze maybe. He looked like he played pretty good in that Vikings game. I think probably when it's all said and done, it'll be Holden, Davenport, Reed, and Pentner just because of his flexibility up and down that line. I think those 9 are going to stick, and then we'll probably stash a few guys on the practice squad. I'm really interested in this podcast to get a lot of feedback. The cool thing about this one, I want this to be interactive. I want lots and lots of comments. I want to get a good conversation going. Who is going to play well? Who's going to go out there and step up and actually win that job? Is there anybody in the cornerback room that can come out there and, kind of supplant any of those guys, those typical 6 guys with of course, I think Rock's going to make the team. I think TJ Carey, obviously Rhodes and Kenny Moore is going to make the team. I think Marvell Tell, and then Rodgers rounds it out. Is anybody going to even come out there and try and, come and take that job? It'd be very, very interesting to see what happens in that game and see the type of intensity in that game. It's always one of the coolest games for me as a fan. I love watching those guys. I love watching those guys develop, and it's like, it's their final show. It's their final opportunity to get a job in the NFL. And it's their dream to play here and to come out there. It's going to be very interesting and who shows up. A guy that's a little bit on the fence for me is a Taylor Stallworth. He's playing late in games. That's usually not a very good sign to making a team, especially for a veteran. He's really playing late in those games. He's going to need to do something if he wants to kind of get one of those spots on the interior. I think Antoine Woods has really stepped up and played well. Man, it's going to be an all-out dogfight. Might be an ugly game. They usually are. They're usually not the prettiest games. But as a fan, it's going to be interesting to watch that. And then immediately we kind of shift to who's going to make the final 53. And I want to know if anybody thinks there's going to be any surprise cuts this year as far as a camp casualty or a veteran that doesn't make this team and just kind of like, oh my gosh, what just happened? But all in all, Colts Lions, not a lot of starters, not a lot to report on there. Carson Wentz, obviously, looking great in practice. He's really throwing the football, and you can just tell that ball pops out of his hands. He can throw those people open. He anticipates throws a little bit better. He's got that mobility. He's got that confidence. So I'm looking forward to that. A little bit of news: Eric Fisher came up on the COVID list today. So he'll be away from the facilities. He probably can still rehab depending on how he's feeling, but he's going to be away from the facilities while that happens. I think they called up a tight end just for the game, just to take another peek at him and look at him. Andrew Valette. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for your support. You guys continue to do such a great job. Stephen and I love just the interaction that we've got. And we're asking you to join the No Horsing family. Looking to get to 325 subscribers. So like, share, rate, review, subscribe. And once again, thank you so much for being a part of this awesome little journey that we're on. Take care.